If you live in Kentucky, there is a 50% chance you live in a rural part of the state, but many hospitals in these areas are struggling to survive. In fact, about 65% of hospitals classified as rural are actually losing money. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs looks at why so many of these hospitals are in critical condition.
It demands attention. Sitting at an intersection in Fleming County, its presence, though new and pristine, is a problem.
Oh, listen, a lot of sleepless nights.
This Fleming County hospital is on borrowed time right now.
It's not in the position to where it's making money, I can tell you that.
Hospital board member and judge executive Larry Foxworthy says the $30 million facility built in 2008
Yeah, would you call me, please?
has about a $1 million payment each year, with not much money coming in. Sources tell WKYT the average census here is running at about 40% capacity.
Since that period of time has collected, and it's just like a big snowball going downhill.
There are 65 hospitals classified as rural by the Kentucky Hospital Association. The last report available from 2012 found 65% of those hospitals reported negative operating budgets and looking for a lifeline, like Fleming County.
It's a little more attractive to someone that would be looking to acquire than it would be to a hospital like, unfortunately, like Nicholas County was. You know, there's a little older building and equipment was outdated, and of course, as you well know, they've had to close.
I mean, everybody says that the hospital was a Band-Aid station, but still, they saved many lives here in the county.
And Jimmy Price was one of them.
I was on the verge of a heart attack, and my son come and took me to the hospital out here, and they airlifted me on to UK.
But last year, the Nicholas County Hospital had to close.
It cost the hospital more to operate than they were getting paid, you know, for the services they were providing.
Judge Mike Pryor attributes much of the reason for the hospital's closing to the Affordable Care Act, more Medicaid patients, which ends up paying the hospital less for services.
They just weren't able to function.
Now that we have all these new patients, all these more patients who are paying less than the cost of care, these hospitals are burning through money a lot faster.
Dr. Daniel Mangiardo met us at his London office. He calls Hazard his home.
Dominic was 28 days old.
He remembers hearing the news of his brother's death in the late 1950s.
But if he lived in a city, he'd be alive today. And where you live should not determine what kind of health care that you get. And we're moving back in that direction by the changes that we're seeing right now by these struggling rural hospitals.
The closing of Nicholas County's hospital has added about 30 extra minutes of travel to reach a hospital for those living in that county.
And if you lose that stop, if you lose that hospital which used to take care of you, then you've lost those minutes, you've lost heart, you've lost brain, and that's an extremely poor quality health care.
The way it is right now, all rural hospitals are going to have to make dramatic changes.
Foxworthy hoping the newness of these halls will lure in help.
If that means you know, affiliation, partnerships, even acquisition from a larger company or hospital. But we want to look at all the options.
I spoke to Kentucky One Health and Baptist Health and asked them both the question, are you in the business of buying up rural hospitals in financial distress? Baptist Health says all hospitals are having to change their models for patient care. In regard to rural hospitals, they say they may need to move to more community clinics and away from acute care hospitals. Kentucky One Health released this statement.
Overcoming the barriers to health care across rural communities is a priority to Kentucky One Health. We remain committed to the patients we serve in many rural counties.
The true cure for this long term is that the patients that don't need to go in the hospital need to be treated as outpatients.
A big shift for counties counting on the jobs these buildings provide and the lives that surround them.
And officials with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services say many of these rural hospitals are now receiving more in Medicaid reimbursements in recent months as part of the Affordable Care Act and have shown significant financial growth. So obviously multiple factors seem to be contributing to this problem, guys.
Absolutely, and they're looking for a lot of help. Are they looking to any of the university hospitals to be of help?
I spoke to UK and they said they're building their heart and stroke programs at a lot of these rural hospitals as a way to help them out. So everyone's helping as much as they can, it sounds like.
All right, Miranda, thank you for that report.